The PlayStation Store has a massive sale right now, and we are back at it with 2 deals videos a week starting right now. Now, we had some personal life stuff happening, but all is good now, so do expect to see us back on track. Now, as always here, I'm going to be covering the US, Canada, UK, EU and Australia, and make sure to watch out for more content just like this weekly on the channel, including reviews and lists. Let's get started. Drop a comment down below then for your chance to win a $10 PSN gift card. That winner will be announced in next week's video, and later in today's video, I know it's been a little while, but I'm going to be picking a winner from our last deals video, so do watch out for that. Today's video has a big focus on AAA with a few high profile indies for good measure, and we're starting with Dead Island 2. Now, I reviewed this on the channel recently, I had a blast with it, find that video in the pinned comment. Given the years of delays though that we've seen for this title, I did go in with low expectations, but it was a real surprise as you take on the zombie apocalypse in first person across LA. It's not an open world, rather small areas to explore, but it is great taking you from the Hollywood Hills to Beverly Hills to Venice Beach. It's just such a unique setting. It's helped then by the fact that combat is incredibly satisfying and the weapons they can be heavily modified. I've linked the full review below, but it's a new low price, 20% off. Yes, it's a small discount, but it is a new game. Sonic Frontiers was a surprise hit for me, and I think it is well worth this new low price of 40% off. While there's no question areas to criticize such as environmental popping, no matter the platform, I'd argue it's one of the best 3D Sonics in a long time, carefully balancing speed-based levels that resemble the Sonic we know, with an open world location that is surprisingly entertaining as you do blitz around it. There's even these massive boss encounters that are just seriously impressive, and I really hope this now gets a sequel. I'd love to see where they take it next, because there's clear passion behind it, and that's really what this high profile star deserves. SIFU matches the low with 40% off. I'm a big fan of this martial arts roguelite experience that has you out on a quest to avenge the death of a family member. The unique spin here, each death causes you to age, and should you get too old, it is going to be game over. Now, as you age, the skill tree that you have access to changes, restricting or introducing new features, and also just think of it as weaker but healthier when you're young, stronger but a more limited health bar with age. This is a game where you must master the combat system and defensive strategies, but it is great fun and it's received a fair few free updates that added in additional game modes. Stranger of Paradise gets a new low at 20% off. Now, I know that sounds like a smaller discount to perhaps what we may have seen in the past, so how can it be a new low? And that's because the game received a permanent price drop to $40 in the US or your regional equivalent, and now we get this on top. An action RPG, I know it received some mixed opinions at launch, but I really enjoyed it personally, and I do think Team Ninja did the name justice. Now, I'm sure there's going to be comments disagreeing, so let me know what it is about the game that you did not enjoy. The story here, it follows Jack, a man out to destroy chaos, and I'd say give it a go if you like the genre. You got a lot of game here for your buck. Crisis Core, well, I'm on Final Fantasy, and this originated on the PSP before receiving this upgrade, and I do think it is solid work. Another action RPG spin on the formula. I was a big fan of this back in the day, and it's great to see the amount of effort poured in here. I think it looks good, it plays well, and you get to see a unique perspective as you battle beside the likes of Sephiroth after some attacks occurred. The only thing I will say here is it's aged in its level design. It is incredibly linear. A great continuation of the story, however, and now is a perfect time to get a Final Fantasy fix, with 16 arriving later this month. 30% off then, that is a new low price. Modern Warfare 2 cross-gen bundle gets a new low price of 45% off, and this really needs no introduction. The king of first-person shooters for many, I personally prefer something a little more strategic and slower paced. However, this was a return to form for me for the series, and it just sucked me back in. The single player is great fun as it takes you on a globe-trotting adventure with the typical Hollywood style, set pieces, think dangling upside down, shooting from a helicopter. But then I also really enjoyed the multiplayer as well. I had a blast and I still go back to it on occasion. It has some great new modes while maintaining the classic options that many do expect. For once though, I'm excited now to see what comes next. Stray has found quite a following within the gaming community, and for those that may be curious, it's now 25% off, and that is a new low price. Now, I had fun with this one. It's a nice, almost relaxed game, if anything. Just nice when you want to sit back and kind of relax a bit and take on what is a unique world. The story, though, it's about a cat that falls into a walled city that's populated by robots, and now we set out to return to the surface alongside a droid companion. Some great videos of this one online as people entertain their cats and dogs, and it definitely gets my dog looking towards the screen on occasion, thanks to what is a dedicated meow button. Horizon Forbidden West is here, matching the low with 43% off, and I will put my hands up and admit I do not think this is maybe as great as some make it out to be. I understand the appeal, do not get me wrong, and I enjoyed it myself, but I don't think it is, game changing. I still need to play though Burning Shore, so do let me know in the comments if that's going to be worth jumping into sooner rather than later. The story here though with this sequel, it's a journey to the frontier region to find the source of a plague. I'll say this about the game, it's absolutely a demo piece, it looks absolutely stunning. Hades gets a new low of 50% off, and if you've slept on this one and enjoy the roguelike genre, you must play it. In fact, if you own a PS5 and perhaps you played it elsewhere first like myself, I'd still argue the upgrades to performance and visuals, it makes it worth a second purchase. I think it's fair to call it one of the best in the genre, and now we have a sequel coming soon, which I'm personally psyched to see. The gameplay escape hell by battling through a slew of locations and bosses, while leveling up between runs and mastering a variety of weapons. I personally am a sword guy. Now, where it surprised me, I had sunk in a huge number of hours for that first complete run, and then I immediately jumped back in. Need for Speed Unbound Palace Edition then is an expanded edition of the game, something I wouldn't normally feature, but it's only a couple more bucks than what was the low price on the base game, and it packs in some additional vehicles, so I don't think it is all that bad. I enjoyed this entry as well. The open world is interesting enough, the cars feel solid, I particularly like the drifting packed in, and the only disappointment was the incredibly dumb storyline, which felt like it was written on a napkin by people that knew nothing about racing outside of they maybe watched a couple of the Fast and Furious movies. 70% off then, that is a new low price. The Quarry gets a new low price of 67% off, and recently I replayed Man and Medan, a game that's very similar to this but smaller in scope, released in an anthology format. This one though is a personal recent favourite. It just has fun with the concept of cinematic horror, and the story, it is a classic. Control a group of teenage counsellors who must survive a night in a creepy summer camp surrounded by some creepy locals and even the supernatural. It's the cast I like the most, they just kind of tick all of the genre hallmarks, and yeah, this one is a winner in my opinion. I cannot wait to see what this team does next. Tactics Ogre Reborn was a long-awaited rebuild from Square Enix that was based on a later version of this tactical strategy RPG that I personally loved. This absolutely does the game justice as well, with tweaks that I appreciated, though they weren't for everyone, such as the change to random battles being in a specific location helping you advance. I would suggest watching a full review, there's a ton going on here, but come here if you do enjoy customization and a story that's a bit of a slower burn in my opinion to open, but the payoff then is so much better for it as it discusses themes of war, betrayal and anger. It's 34% off, and that is a new low price. Like a Dragon, Ishin is a spin-off from Yakuza and a remake that was long overdue. Now, I love this series personally, and while this one felt a little lower stakes than usual for me, I still loved every minute of it. I think I'm going to be going back to this in fact and reviewing it here on the channel, just so we can have it up here, because I know the fanbase is out there. Here though, we follow a samurai with themes of war and murder, but as always, the game features a ton to do in what is a small open world. The highlight though has to be the combat system as you learn new styles, and then with any Yakuza game, I always do every side mission because there's some real gems packed in here. It's 30% off, and that is a new low price. Dead Space is our penultimate game, it's 30% off, a new low price, and this was an incredible remake. This was exactly the pick-me-up we needed after the disappointing Callisto Protocol that suffered from an incredibly weak combat system. The story asks us to investigate a ship that appears to be in trouble, and there are all sorts of monsters on board waiting for us. They got so much right here. Visually it's stunning, it controls well, the weapons are still incredibly satisfying, and it still gets me with its jump scares. Sure, they mix some up, but even the classic moments that remain intact, they still got me even though I knew they were coming, and that's really just a testament to the game's quality. The winner of the week then is Sergio, who highlighted Guardians of the Galaxy. Congrats on the $10 PSN gift card win. Drop me an email to claim that code. And if you didn't grab Guardians of the Galaxy just yet, do know it is on sale right now, so you can perhaps put it towards that release. God of War Ragnarok to close out the video, and arguably the best game right now on the PS5. It is 29% off, a new low price. It won a ton of awards, and rightfully so, and it features one of my favourite video game soundtracks of recent memory. It is as epic as you would expect. The action, you could argue it's more of the same from the first game, but that is just fine when the first game was so damn good. These games just ooze a style, and they are incredibly cinematic, while ensuring the player is still in control enough. If you do own a PS5, you should not skip this game, but make sure you play the first one as well, as it is very much a continuation, taking place just a few years later. And that's the video down. Will you be adding anything to your library? Let me know in the comments. I'm struggling to pull myself away personally from Diablo 4, but there's a lot of games coming soon that I do need to check out. I even just added the new Street Fighter to the library as well. With that, hit subscribe, join us here for reviews, deals, and lists weekly, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.